Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to season 2 of What's Next. This is the first episode of What's Next. And don't worry, it's not myself alone tonight. I'm also joined by a co-star in this industry, I guess. But my colleague, my chairman, the chairman of the Women's Arm to the Progressive Empowerment Party, Precious Cruikshank. Good night, Precious.
Good night, David, and good night to all our viewers. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. Good night to everyone, and I must say, Happy New Year, 2023. Yes, indeed.
I got the chills starting the show once again today.
Yes,
I got it.
Yes.
Because it's been so long since we've been here at another episode of What's Next with both yourself and myself.
Correct.
Now, we are both chairmen of various arms to the Progressive Empowerment Party. You know, for this, what we tell persons today, and what we're telling persons today as of 2023, is that, and he didn't even charge the cameras, he didn't put the cameras to charge. No worries. What we are telling people in 2023 is that the Progressive Empowerment Party is the only choice for Trinidad and Tobago.
That's right.
Right now, we are the only choice for Trinidad and Tobago. So, throughout the entire year, because we're going to be doing this for the entire year, Trinidad and Tobago, throughout the entire year, you're going to see from myself, you're going to hear from Precious, you're going to hear from every single individual attached to the Progressive Empowerment Party.
That's
now,
right.
I don't want to jump ahead into everything that we need to talk about tonight. Firstly, let's find out from Precious how her Christmas season was like. Now, I know how Precious Christmas season was like because you technically spent it with us, with myself,
Correct.
with the Progressive Empowerment Party. We've been on the road. Yeah. But outside of all of that, how was Christmas for you?
It was relaxing. It gave me time to rejuvenate myself and, did some thinking and processing my thoughts and preparing myself for another year of greatness, of great productivity, and a lot of things in store for 2023. And also gives you time to set a balance in your life, because throughout the year we have been working, we have been doing meetings, public meetings, and also besides our political field, we also had our personal lives, so you had to work, etc. So it was a lot, 2022, and I look forward to a great, exceptional, wonderful 2023 ahead.
I too look forward for a great 2023. But you know what I look forward to? I look forward to Keith Christopher Rowley calling the election. Because one thing that we cannot forget is that Trinidad and Tobago is in some terrible state of affairs right about now.
Absolutely.
100%. Crime is out of control. This present regime does not have a handle on the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct.
And I'll make a statement officially from the UTAM of Trinidad and Tobago, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, especially attached to the Progressive Empowerment Party. We have today a lot of youths involved in crime and criminality. I heard the Archbishop talking about it's not the Prime Minister's fault, it's not the President's fault, it's the citizenry fault, it's our fault. Yet he still speaks about the procurement legislations and things like this that makes up the fundamental society that we live in. All right? Let me first say something. I cannot say, Precious, that it is a citizen's fault that crime and criminality is out of control today. Firstly, let me say that, of course, there are negligent people in Trinidad and Tobago. There are persons that just love the guns in Trinidad and Tobago because guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Correct.
All right, 100%. But when I say that every single aspect of Trinidad and Tobago society is just in pieces and it's broken down, I make no excuses in saying that we live in a shithole paradise.
Correct.
That's what we live in.
Correct.
A shithole paradise. Emmanuel, there's a video on videos with a guy with a gun, and he on this video the narrative was he is protecting Trinidad and Tobago. Just play it. Just have no audio on it. He is on the streets and he is saying that he is protecting Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
The reason why crime is out of control today in Trinidad and Tobago is because people have no money.
Correct.
People are literally starving.
Correct.
People there's no fear for law and order anymore in Trinidad and Tobago.
There are poor
Look
laws.
the video.
Poor laws. Poor
Look at
laws
this.
in place.
This guy is with a gun on the street saying that he's protected. I don't think we have open carry state at all in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, we don't have no open carry state. But this guy has a firearm in public on the nation's roadways. Imagine that. And for sure, I'm going to say that he's the problem there and then. 100% he's the problem there and then. But when it comes to youths killing youths, because a lot of youths involved in crime today, I was surprised. Throughout the year 2022, what I have realized in my own community, Laventille East Movement, is that there's a lot of young people with guns.
Yeah.
A lot. I kid you not. There's a lot of young people with guns, and we can call the state, or we could call the area Coconut Drive. A lot of young people carrying weapons there. There was an all-out war where 3 persons were killed in 1 week, and then there was a rival killing the next week, and it was crazy and mover for the year 2022, only in December alone.
And the thing is, David, these young people are not getting these guns just like that. It's not like, you know, these are not legal firearms.
No, it's not.
Right? So there is a great and a big problem there.
Where
are these young people getting these firearms
and the thing is,
from?
Philip said it. We all keep saying the same thing. But the problem that we're facing, and this is for the Archbishop, because the Archbishop know that these young people not getting the guns from traversing into Venezuela and coming back, you know.
Of course.
These things are brought in through our legal borders. And when I say it's brought in through our legal borders, it's not coming from my mouth alone. It's coming from the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hanks.
Correct.
The Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hanks, stated that weapons are coming into Trinidad and Tobago from our legal ports. Not only Fitzgerald Hanks said it, but also the Commissioner of Police that we have today said it. The Commissioner of Police today took a vacation in a time where crime and criminality was out of control. Out of control. He's going on vacation. You see, the Archbishop, are you not seeing the problem that we're facing in Trinidad and Tobago? It's not that these citizens are causing the problem, you know. It's that food prices have escalated. 11% inflation in 2022.
Exactly.
In today's day and age, Philip Alexander, political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, he goes to Massey stores. You see, poor people cannot live in Trinidad and Tobago.
I think I saw a picture, David, of an individual posted the price of, I think it was broccoli or cauliflower. It was $81 in Massey, I believe it was, and that's ridiculous. Just imagine, you're going to the market, regular market, and you want to buy fresh produce, and you are paying $20 to $25 for a pound of tomatoes. You are paying $18 to $20 for a pound of eggplant, or we call it melangen or bygone, as some would say, right? These things weren't that cost. It wasn't. Probably earlier on in 2022, probably January, these items cost what? $9, $8, $5. So what caused that increase, that jump? Why isn't our government working for us? This is what we continuously ask ourselves, but yet we do nothing.
And I am telling persons without a doubt, the Progressive.
Exactly.
I laugh when I say it, and the reason why I laugh when I say it is because it's the only truth that I can find.
Yeah.
There's no other political party that is working for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. All the work that we have done from the Christmas season into now, all the work that we have done Trinidad and Tobago has been for Trinidad and Tobago. All the talk that we continue to talk, the policies that we continue to bring out, the meetings that we continue to have, is not just is not to give Miss Alexander any fame and glory. You know, it's to bring light to the Progressive Empowerment Party.
Correct.
We have the fix for this country. We are telling you that over and over again. And it's up to you to make that decision, to make that choice when you go out to vote. Too much times have you been going out to vote for the UNCD-PNM, and that has failed you. It is time for a change. It is time to choose differently, and the Progressive Empowerment Party is that change. When it comes to crime and criminality, nobody else spoke about securing Trinidad and Tobago borders more than the Progressive Empowerment Party. No other political party.
Exactly.
None. They cannot tell me that they cannot secure our borders. They cannot tell me that the reason why food prices are out of control is because of war happening in Russia, Ukraine, or because prices going up outside. Because right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of farmland right here that we are not utilizing. A Progressive Empowerment Party tells you that if you put us into office, we will utilize those farmlands in Trinidad and Tobago and significantly cutting the food import bill in half. We will do that. We will put you to work in Trinidad and Tobago. Our citizens will be put to work.
That's right.
Because that is going to boost our economy.
Yeah.
How can you tell me that we are boosting the economy by shutting down Petrotrin? That's what the Prime Minister say. The Prime Minister said when we close down Petrotrin, Trinidad and Tobago is when Petrotrin or other companies, the energy sector, start to make all kind of money. What kind of money the energy sector start to make? Exactly. I want to know something. And this will all tie back into crime and criminality, yeah? And why crime and criminality out of control so much in Trinidad and Tobago. It's because of the poverty in this country. It is because there's no equality in this country whatsoever.
Not. Absolutely none. Absolutely none, David.
No equality. So what I want to ask Colin Burt today, or some that say Colin Bear, Colin Burt, let me ask you, where that 1 billion, that is what it's equivalent to, 1 billion TT dollars come from for you to put in any heritage and stabilization fund? Now, I'm not against Colin Burt putting money in the heritage and stabilization fund.
But where the money came from?
But where that money come from? Considering that you telling people in Trinidad and Tobago to, well, not you, because he does always say, we're booming, Madam Speaker, we're booming. But considering that your government is telling persons to tighten their belt, we had to tighten our belt for COVID. We had to share a banana. Remember, Prime Minister already talking about sharing a banana. But from COVID-19 and just 2020 to 2022 and into 2023, you found billions of dollars to save in our heritage and stabilization fund. Where that come from?
And the thing is, we're saving. Of course, it's good to save, but David, our people are suffering.
Well, thank you. Thus far, Trinidad and Tobago, thus far, the amount of poverty in Trinidad and Tobago, we have bad roads, we have bad healthcare, we have bad policing, we have bad everything. All of our arms of government has been decimated by this PNM government. The United National Congress that sits in the opposition has done a piss poor job at representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago properly. So much so persons are looking for an alternative solution. And we are that alternative solution that they are looking for. But the only reason why they are looking for us, it is because the opposition has failed Trinidad and Tobago, and the very persons that elected them or voted for them, they have failed them. Let me tell you why the opposition failed. And I know we're jumping here and there and all over the place, but the only reason why is because we have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot. Yes. We've been off for too long.
We have a lot to talk about tonight, Trinidad and Tobago.
Because what's next?
David, is that you can't, I heard someone said, try the two, put them to the test or whatever. These two parties, political parties, have been in power, and one is in power in this present time. And we are seeing the state of our nation. We are seeing the state of our nation. And ask anyone, do you like it? Do you like the standard of living you are living now? Are you comfortable? Are you living comfortable in your home? No, you're not, because your safety should be priority for this government. And quite frankly, it is not because I am feeling scared. A lot of people are feeling scared to just even walk the street. There are a lot of people who can't even leave their doors unlocked. They can't. When they're driving home, they have to be looking in their rearview mirrors, have to be looking in their side mirrors, have to ensure that no one is following them at home, because this is the state of our country today. You don't know what could happen. You don't know when you're leaving a financial institution if somebody is following you to rob you. You don't know when you're walking down the street, somebody is looking at your property you have on you, that they want to snatch it and take it from you. And you could be at the risk of getting killed. You could be at the risk of getting murdered for your own property. We are not safe. Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are not feeling safe. And safety should be number one priority. And it is not. This government makes us feel like we are nothing. And that is not what is acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable in my eyes. And it should not be in yours.
Now, as you talk about safety, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago spoke about safety also. The President of this country said that she is not feeling safe. She said she with security, yeah? She has security.
Exactly.
She is... She called the nation... What she called the nation? She called the nation... oh gosh, I can't even remember the term that she called the nation because it's so ludicrous. Huh? She pointed to the fact that she can walk to her neighbor house and talk to her neighbor because her neighbor running inside, locking the gates, chaining it up to go inside because they're not feeling safe. And instead of trying to address the crime situation, which would be because of obvious white-collar crime, obvious blatant corruption.
Correct.
Obviously that. She decided to blame the nation, to blame the citizens of this Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. But maybe she was right in blaming the citizens of this republic.
Yes, because those,
we're not standing up for anything.
White-collar criminals are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, but we're not standing for anything.
We are not, exactly.
We as citizens in this country have decided that we care about nothing other than carnival.
Correct.
That's all we care about.
That is it.
That is where every creed and race finds an equal place, and you have black people whining on Indian people whining on black people, and it mixes up with the Chinese if they ever come out. But that is all that Trinidadians care about.
But you know what, David? If we look deeper into the picture by stating, if I go a fete with you and I dance and enjoy myself, and then when I leave and you're driving and not too far from the fete, you got gunned down, how would you feel that you were just having fun with this person and that's it? Somebody just gunned them down. Right on the highway. How would you feel seeing someone's lifeless body that you were just having fun with gone? Absolutely gone. How would you feel as an individual? We cannot just accept, okay, well, it's carnival, so let me just whine and jam and go down and enjoy myself and just throw my troubles behind my back. No. Absolutely not, because at the end of the day, when you finish wine and jam, you don't know if you're going to see another day, because you don't know in the fete who is looking at you to follow you, to kill you, to rob you, to rape you. You don't know. And that is the thing. We don't want to live in a country where you don't feel safe, where justice is far-fetched, where you cannot get justice when a crime is done to you.
Exactly.
A law-abiding citizen.
Exactly. Director, just bring my cell phone for me now, please. I left it in the back there. But there's a lot more to talk about. Now, we started, just as we really start the show right now, because we really now starting the show. That was the intro.
Yeah.
27 minutes intro, because boy, oh boy, did I miss this. All right? Somebody watching my live now. Thanks to all those that message and watching the live. I appreciate it. Make sure and share the live as much as possible. For those that wondering, we're streaming live on the Progressive Empowerment Party's Facebook page. We're streaming live all over, honestly. So if you are watching, remember to share the live just as I am doing now. I am sharing the social media live broadcast. This is the season premiere. This is season 2, season premiere of What's Next with myself, David Walsh, and the Women's Arm Chairman, Precious Cruikshank. All right. Now, I am also Shadow Member of Parliament for Laventille East Movement. Precious, not Shadow MP just yet. I hope to God that she becomes a Shadow MP soon. Philip, come on. Or the screening committee for the PEP, come on. We have a candidate right here, so make a Shadow MP ASAP. What's your face? So like, that's a lot of work on her. But yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. You know, we started on crime and criminality, and most likely we will stay there on crime and criminality, because we started, well, we ended the year with over 600 murders.
606 murders.
606.
Non-stop. Just imagine in a season where people are supposed to be, you know, embracing family and embracing joy and embracing the reason for this season, you know, to be kind to one another, to care, to show that type of, that compassion to an individual, that time where you feel happy in your spirit, in your soul, as they would say. But no, every time you wake up in the morning and you open your social media or you open your newspaper, you see another murder, another one dead.
Now, let me open up the phone lines, because I want to get some calls and opinions in right now. 2824798, that's the number to call, 2824798. Call and be a part of the program today, live commentary, so you could call and speak to both myself, David Walsh, Precious Cruikshank, live right now in studio. All right, we are streaming live from the newly refurbished Progressive Empowerment Party head office.
That's right.
And on Saturday, this Saturday, you can come down to our Bamboo office, where we will be hosting what they calling it?
An open meeting.
An open meeting, because it was supposed to be here, but Philip will take you across there this week.
Yes.
And he will show you why we had to move the meeting from this Port of Spain head office to a sub office in Bamboo, because right across there you have Carnival taking place. All right. And they put down some tents there that costing you, the taxpayer, about $6 million. $6 million is what across there in Victoria Square is going to be costing you just for housing tents on Christmas Day.
Exactly.
You know, you smell that corruption?
Exactly.
No, but you're smelling that corruption,
yes.
Right? They started housing tents, putting up tents and structures in a closed environment for Carnival, and it costing us, the taxpayers, about, allegedly, I must say that, $6 million. But Miss Alexander will take you further in that. Number to call, 282, it's on the screen, 2824798. That is 2824798. Call and be a part of the program right now, Trinidad and Tobago. The phone lines are open. But 600 murders at the end of the year, and as we started the year 2023, we had how much? 6 or 5? I
think about 6 murders.
6 murders at the start of the year, Trinidad and Tobago. That is one hell of a start of a year there with 6 murders. Now, we know it's young people. We can't get away from that. The fact is that it's young people picking up guns today, and the only reason why young people are picking up so much guns right now, especially Trinidad and Tobago, especially from PNM areas, and I don't like playing the race game, and I'm not pulling the race game, but it's from PNM areas. Young persons are picking up weapons of mass destruction to use it against their own.
Exactly. David, it's so much crime in this country. It's out of hand. It's out of control. Absolutely out of control. And for a Minister of National Security, I think when they interviewed him and asked him if he would rate his performance, and he stated what he doesn't rate his performance. He work, you know, he understands the mandate that is given to him. Does he? I don't think so. I think that mandate was given to the wrong individual. Come on.
Fitzgerald Hines need to be fired.
Come on.
But then, Precious, when we fire Fitzgerald Hines, if we fire Fitzgerald Hines, Who are we going to put? They don't want to bring back Gary Griffith, so Gary Griffith creates a political party to challenge the prime minister so he could get any kind of votes. All right? That is one. The next thing too, what I wanted to get to later, you know, the presidency up for grabs come January 20th.
Yes.
It's funny. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago said that he don't want to be president. Well, you gotta come out and say you don't want to be president for. You want to be president. We know that.
Exactly.
The one thing he respond to is that he don't want to be president.
It's something when people, you know what people do? They say things that they actually underlyingly say.
You want to be president?
You want to be president, but you know, you have to put up a front to act humble.
Hey.
If you want it, state you want it, right? You don't want no fakes.
The man is a big faker, but the man want to be president. He know, look at, let me not go there. But then you have the opposition down there inside the parliament. They're talking about the improper candidate yet, as though them gonna get any kind of pick. The opposition, and that is what we're telling you, the opposition has failed, you know. The opposition is just right now a set of loudmouths. I don't want to use the words that come into my mind, but that's what they are. And I'll tell you why that's what they are, right? Because the opposition right now acting as though they never tried to challenge the presidency of Parliament Weeks and the whole fiasco that went down with the Commissioner of Police and the merit list. They're acting as though they never took the president to the parliament and also to the electoral college. And the whole nation, like, they forget that ever happened. The electoral college is set in it. And for those that don't know what the electoral college is, it is just simply the same set of stupid members of parliament and also the people that call themselves independents and also the senators that are appointed by either opposition or the prime minister, or both of them actually. We have no true independence in Trinidad, by the way.
Exactly. But because if it was David independence, the people should have been able.
Well, don't go there yet. Let me tell you why not to go there yet. Because the prime minister of this country is trying to tell us, or even other persons are trying to tell us, that, well, we don't have to look at the judiciary to appoint a president. A president don't have to be a lawyer, right? An attorney at law. And they're trying to say that the reason why the president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago was always a member of the judiciary or former member of the judiciary is because they wanted to bring that level of democracy and independence to Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister.
Is that right?
Well, that, you see, and we forget, and my question to the Prime Minister, to the opposition, to all of them is, didn't a president allegedly send back a merit list? Or had any kind of dealings in sending back a merit list that was supposed to be sent directly to the parliament?
Exactly.
The whole process of us selecting, because it's not elected by the general society, the whole process of the presidency and how a president is elected is not a democracy, is not in favor of the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
And that's it. It is never in favor of the people.
Well, we don't get to go out and vote. We don't. We do not get to go out and vote for our own president. The president is elected by the quote-unquote electoral college that is supposed to be representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago, both the minority and the majority. But you know it's not so. You and the opposition in Trinidad and Tobago needs to realize that even if you put up a candidate, Rowley is going to shoot that down because Rowley is in charge. You believe Rowley in charge, right? You believe that we're in a democracy? Because people would like to believe that Trinidad and Tobago is in a democracy. But
exactly.
do you 100% believe that Trinidad and Tobago is in a democracy? When you have to write to the Commissioner of Police to get permission to protest, how is that a democracy? How? In the Constitution to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, it speaks about your fundamental freedom of speech, movement,
exactly.
and your freedom to join a political party and to express your political beliefs in any
and
way
my
you
political
see.
views.
Anyway.
I see fit, I would. I'm supposed to be able to freely speak out. But no, not in Trinidad and Tobago.
Let me tell you, before I forget.
They want to restrict you if you talk about the present government in power.
Let me tell you, if you believe that Trinidad and Tobago in a democracy, ask yourself about Satmaraj. Satmaraj was charged with sedition. Sedition, a reactive law.
Exactly.
A retroactive law. If you don't know what retroactive laws are, go and research what retroactive laws are. Because that's a retroactive law, the Sedition Act, that is still in force today. Not to the extent that they would like it to be, because then it will cause mass protests on the streets.
Of course.
But Satmaraj, dead and gone, even Watson Duke, but say what? Satmaraj, dead and gone, God rest his soul, was charged with sedition in Trinidad and Tobago for expressing his political beliefs. There are other persons that came close to being charged with sedition by the cybercrime unit for talking about Prime Minister Rowley or suggesting that they go hit him and stuff like that, right? And even if you, because you know you had the famous one that say, Rowley, this. You had that, you know, Rowley. But even if you do something like that, okay, Rowley don't have security.
Exactly.
24/7.
24/7.
He also have more security detail around him, because that's what he requested as well. Because remember when the security detail come and they was like, Rowley have plenty schedule and they want more pay and this and that, and they were changed by the commissioner of police. He have more security around him. The president have security around her. The attorney general have security around him. All of them are protected inside of the Red House. Gary Griffith, when he was the commissioner of police, said that no 1990 coup again would ever happen in Trinidad and Tobago, because they have their lockdown. You have the Port of Spain boss in charge of Port of Spain. You know, the illegal boss in charge of Port of Spain. So what else? What are they really telling us about sedition? They need to abolish that law, but not just abolish sedition, because, I mean, we need to formulate a constitution that is in favor of the people of Trinidad and Tobago a little bit more, because you do not have that. We do not have that, and we need to recognize that. Our right to protest should be our right to protest without having to write to anybody to ask for rights to protest.
Because, of course, if you have to write to the commissioner, or whoever you may have to write to, they could as well shut it down. They could say, no, you cannot protest. You did not get the permission to do so.
Exactly.
Right?
Now, it does state that they need to give you a reasonable explanation as to why they're denying your right to protest, because I took them to court.
Oh, yes.
You know, I won the court case against Gary Griffith, by the way. In the COVID-19 pandemic, and even during the state of emergency, the then Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, denied me permission to protest when I walked from Port of Spain to the Red House. And we took that to the High Court, and I'm smiling now because we took that to the High Court, Trinidad and Tobago, and the High Court ruled in our favor, and we won that case. They need to give us a reasonable explanation as to why they're denying us permission. And they did not do that at the time. But in order for us to not have to go through that and not have to go through the process of court and court and court, because that takes time, fix the law, fix the constitution.
Correct.
And they don't want to do that because it's in favor of them.
And that's the thing, David. It's in favor of them and not of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I see no reason why you must stop the citizens from protesting for their rights. If they are feeling that their rights are being restricted, why can't I protest?
Freedom of speech is one.
Why? And I must be able to protest when something is going wrong. And the thing is, David, the Constitution is so as they say, backward.
No,
because
I don't think
the point
so.
is, David, is that, okay, if I am voting you into power, if the power is in my finger to dip and to vote for the individual who sits in parliament today, right? How come the Constitution is being used against me then?
No. No. You see that there? No. And I'll tell you why no. The Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago is very vague. It's very straightforward. It is a proper constitution. The problem that you have is that there are other laws that unfortunately supersede that said constitution. It would be that right that you have, like your freedom of movement. All right. When it comes to a pandemic, the Public Health Emergency Act will supersede that constitution. You see how long they use that pandemic for, right?
Yes.
Because they got to suppress some of your constitutional rights.
Correct.
However, in an instant like this, they cannot suppress some of your constitutional rights without reasonable cause. That is why for the COVID-19 pandemic, many people could have come and say, prove that the virus exists. And they were unable to prove that COVID-19 virus actually exists because the remember Prime Minister always say that, oh, it's ever changing, it's this, it's that, it's the other.
It was airborne,
it was airborne, it's touch, it's there, stay inside. So they could not prove that it exists, but they could say that it's there. So they use in the Public Health Emergency Act. But that subsequently suppressed some of your constitutional rights.
Of course.
The constitution that we have is a proper constitution. The problem that we're facing is that if they feel to call a state of emergency and the president agrees for a state of emergency, they're going to suppress your constitutional rights right there.
Because no freedom of movement.
No freedom of movement, no nothing. Martial law. And that is how easy it is for them to use the Constitution against us. When we talk about constitutional reform, it's by simply saying nothing can supersede your constitutional rights.
Correct.
In the United States of America, First Amendment right is speech. And nothing can suppress that First Amendment right. And that is what we need here in Trinidad and Tobago. We need a proper constitution. When I say proper constitution, one that is truly enforced to be in favor of the citizens.
I correctly agree, because you don't want anything to supersede the Constitution.
You don't, but it have laws that supersede the Constitution. You could go anywhere. And when you read the Constitution, it would say in something with this and something with that. I can't remember the correct terminology there. But it always speaks about another law that you have to go and read in a different, not the Constitution this time, right? Is now another law. Why?
When it could have been very much
just write it in the Constitution.
Right.
I think we were very lazy when we wrote the Constitution because we just put, go the other way.
Because they don't want to do anything. They're lazy now. Fix it. What does it, how much effort, how much energy, how much money would it take to fix the Constitution?
It will just say
in favor of the people.
They don't want that to happen.
And that's it. They don't want it to happen.
Anyway, you see how we start on with this and we go on Constitution?
Because it all linked together.
It links together, and the problem in Trinidad and Tobago is the state.
It is.
And we're telling you that the problem is the state.
Yeah.
The government is the problem.
Exactly. So are we, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, are you ready to change the present or sitting government? Are you ready for that change?
And do what exchange? Vote for the Progressive Empowerment Party. And we are telling you, put us in charge. Put all 41 of us in charge, Trinidad and Tobago. Not only will we implement these 21 policies.
That's right.
But we would also change the Constitution to work for you.
Yes.
That is what we will do.
This is the Golden 21 policies, guys. And if you want to get your hand on one of this, as on January the 18th, where our headquarters will be opening up. So we want each and every one of you to come down to our headquarters and get your hands on one of these 21 policies. And we also have shadow MPs that you would come and meet with them, talk to them. We would have our political leader, Mr. Philip Edward Alexander, that would be here also. Our chairman, you'll have David Welch, you'll have myself, you'll have other members. Come. just get your hand on one of this.
Exactly.
Just get your
and we
hand.
are telling you, Trinidad and
Be
Tobago.
open-minded, David.
Well, I will try to.
Yes, not you.
Oh.
I'm telling people of Trinidad and Tobago, be open-minded. Don't say, well, I don't need this, I don't want to read this. No. Be open-minded and see that the 21 policies that is indicated on this would be effective, would bring about positive change, would make a difference in our twin island state. Trinidad and Tobago need these 21 policies implemented.
Correct.
Absolutely no doubt.
And most importantly, what we need implemented is number 15 and number 16, public office reform and electoral reform.
Correct.
Because that gives you the ability to fire us if it is we are not working for you.
Yes.
Both you and I, Precious Cruikshank, if we fail to work for the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we could be fired.
Fire me. If I am not competent, if I am not reliable, if I am not seeing that when the people put me in office to do the work and represent them and I am not doing so, then get rid of me.
And also,
I should be humble enough to step down knowing that I did not place myself there.
And even if you don't want to step down, you'll be forced to by the people.
That's
what we're saying. And most importantly, because we understand Trinidad and Tobago, and we understand that we are a nation of party and relaxation, as I can say.
Correct.
We will properly decriminalize marijuana. Properly decriminalize it.
Yeah.
We would, and what would also happen is we would also create employment through marijuana, all right, through the exportation of marijuana, because I mean people want marijuana, but
exactly.
It also needs to be a controlled substance in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes,
it needs to be. It won't be everybody could just go and export or buy or sell marijuana. You'd need a license, just like you have your liquor license.
Exactly.
And you need to become a distributor of marijuana.
Exactly.
A legal distributor of marijuana.
And as you say that, David, it just came to my mind where in terms of these scrap iron dealers.
And you know their problems.
You know their problem, and you know they are literally up against with the government stating that they have waited a period for them to put things in place so they could start back doing what they do. But of course, they have not properly regulate that industry.
Well,
that's why it's taken so long, you know. That is why. Because there are no proper regulation for that. Absolutely none.
That just tells you how they care about poor people, huh?
Exactly.
Because they could have they said give us what, 6 months? Was it 6 months at first or 4 months?
About 6 months,
about so. Let's say 3 months. I can't even remember how much months they wanted to give them. But they shut down the industry. They say we need to regulate the industry. You see, they shut it down to regulate it. We don't want to do that. The Progressive Empowerment Party says that the dump there at Port of Spain that enters into your capital city,
yes,
we will remove that Port of Spain dump. We will remove that Port of Spain dump to only bring companies there, and we're talking about companies that would be like manufacturing companies, like car companies, and all of these industries. And we're talking about like factories. And we're not just talking about like showrooms and stuff like that.
Correct.
We are talking factories. We will bring it there to the Port of Spain area, entering into the capital city, which will create employment for persons in Port of Spain, for persons living around that area, and not only for persons in that area, but persons across Trinidad and Tobago. Because one of the, and this won't be local companies, these would be international companies. We would give them incentives such as free internet, free let's say free electricity,
yeah,
for about a year or for however long that they need to operate here in Trinidad and Tobago. And what we would offer them, or what we would demand that they offer us or give to us, is employment for our citizens.
That is correct. Employ our citizens, because they would be trained, they would have the experience.
Training for our citizens as well.
Exactly.
All right? And not only, Precious, not only will that drive an economic growth for Trinidad and Tobago, but it will alleviate the stress of having government change, and now you have mass retrenchment in Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct.
What we are going to do is eliminate that problem through private sector growth in Trinidad and Tobago. All of that and more inside of the 21 policies, and that right there you could read more about it on number 18. No mega contracts for contractors again, ever. All of this is what the Progressive Empowerment Party says it wants to do. And I just jumped the gun with one of our plans there. But it's a free plan. It's a free idea to develop Trinidad and Tobago, to develop this nation, to put our citizens back to work. It is on the manifesto of the Progressive Empowerment Party to remove the Port of Spain dump and to bring international companies here in Trinidad and Tobago. And we're talking manufacturing now. We're talking industry.
Of course, production needs to happen in Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly.
Why isn't there much more manufacturing companies within Trinidad and Tobago? We have the skilled labor. It's not like we don't.
We do.
Even if you need to training would come and these people would get experience. Come on, it could happen. It's not like it cannot happen. If you are telling me that you don't see this happening in a 2030 vision for Trinidad and Tobago, then you need to close your eyes and go somewhere else.
I want us to wake up.
I am tired.
We need to wake up. We need to see the vision that everyone talks about, that we are speaking about. You need to see that vision. You need to see everyone working and getting an equal share of the pie. Let me tell you something precious. You see, and director, there's bring some water now. Oh God, bring some water. Is there water in there? No? No water in there?
No water.
Just something, anything. No Coke though. Just anything. We'll take the give us on your left. Yeah, bring two of it. Oh, Jesus Christ. And you leave it on Precious. Precious your life. But anyway.
So anyway, manufacturing companies, we need it. Why can't we manufacture our own vehicles? Why can't that happen? Right? It is possible. Innovation is possible. We have a digitization ministry. I don't hear much about it. You hear a national youth ministry. Don't hear much about it. Yes, photos, the whole glamour, fun, whatever, but we want to see great things happening in these ministries and for Trinidad and Tobago. We see great things happening in Barbados, where they are really putting effort into the gaming industry. Why not do the same thing in Trinidad and Tobago? Why not? If gaming is something that could reach far, that the young people are interested in, digitization, do something. Do something. Look towards the future and not look back. Stop taking 10 steps back and start taking 10 steps forward. Please, our young people are stifling with a lot of potential, and there are a lot of great things that they want to do, and one, they don't have the resources such as money to do it. Right?
No, I agree.
They don't have the money to do it. And two, where is the opportunity?
There's no opportunity.
Where is the opportunity for them to advance in the path that they want to take? Gaming long ago were a pathway. What if your parents say you want to go into gaming and technology? Not at all. That's nonsense.
They never, and that's the truth. We never saw the future in YouTube, in TikTok. And look at these apps now.
Look at the apps now.
We don't even employ young people to be themselves. We employ young people to hide. We say that it's shameful. You walk out there and it's shameful and it's stuff like that, right? But you made some crucial points there, and if I am the Minister of Sports and Tourism to Trinidad and Tobago, I will have so many events across TNT, state events put on by the state to showcase talents by our young people.
Yes, exactly.
I will invest in young people, invest in apps like TikTok, and take Trinidadians, take children on tours to TikTok internationally.
Great.
These are things that I will do.
Down here.
have TikTok come on here.
You have TikTok, you have YouTube, you have a lot.
You know, I love this. What I would have. Hey, we have water. Seriously, bring it. Yeah.
Water.
Oh, don't bring that coffee cup here. Anyway, so what we can do is create a TikTok sub office or a head office for the Caribbean.
Just like we have Microsoft.
Just like we had. We still have it. We still have it?
I am not certain, but I believe so. Just like we had Microsoft, we could have TikTok, we could have, what's another one? You could have YouTube.
YouTube of the Caribbean, right here, home, right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Why don't we have, Uber first came here, and they run Uber with crime and criminality. And I'm telling you, the only reason why we have crime and criminality so out of control is because we don't have an opportunity.
We don't.
Young people don't have the opportunity to live. We have to fight for that opportunity. Our parents didn't fight for it for us.
Exactly.
What else is there for us to do, given that our parents didn't fight for it for us?
And the thing is, David, if something new comes into the picture or to the fold, don't be afraid or fear change. Change is inevitable. That's why the Progressive Empowerment Party is coming, at your doorstep. But you can't fear change. Change would always happen. But what you have to do is start putting things in place. So just as if you have Uber coming to Trinidad, you can regulate Uber. You said, this is our country, this is what we want.
We don't have laws for that.
We don't have laws for it. Why not? A great opportunity. Look at these ride-share companies, right? A lot of people
that is operating illegally by chance, huh?
Yes, a lot of people I spoke to, and they were like, you know what? It's much more flexible for them that they can work and still have family time than the 8 to 4, 9 to 5. They have to work overtime. They have to do this. They have to do that. Have no family time. Family time is out the window.
And pause. That is a very crucial point, huh? The fact that parents are now working 24/7, have no time for their kids.
Just to provide.
I have heard the Progressive Empowerment Party also say that they'll cut down your working hours. And it's not just the PEP spoke about that. They actually did that in another country. Is it, this country Singapore? Is it Singapore that did that? Another country did that. They drastically cut down the working hours. So you have a few hours to work, and then you are mandated to go on leisure time. And this is not like paid vacation. You're getting paid for work, and you're getting the sufficient pay that you need to get.
Correct.
And then you need to spend time with your children. You need to go on leisure time. And all of this props up the economy. We had the talk about tourism in Trinidad and Tobago, especially in Trinidad, that is dead. And where's tourism? You had Burna Boy that came here, and thankfully we went to his concert. It was, I ain't gonna say none. But we went to his concert. Burna Boy actually fell in love with Jamaica instead of Trinidad and Tobago.
And wants to purchase property in Jamaica when he goes back and not in Trinidad. Why? Let's ask ourselves why. Why didn't he choose Trinidad instead of Jamaica? And Jamaica has a high crime rate as well. So why?
Higher than ours.
Why didn't he choose? That's something to think about.
You see, corruption. Our tourism
has failed.
Look at our roads.
Terrible. David,
if we go on Trinidad and Tobago, we would never finish. 8:01 now in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Director, you can switch back the overlays for me there. You can put on myself and Precious. We are very intimidating persons. That is why no callers called tonight. I just want to put out that disclaimer.
But they are commenting. So guys, thank you for your comments, of course.
Oh no, I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. My bad.
Well, we do apologize, guys, if you were trying to call in and you weren't getting through. David had his phone on Do Not Disturb. So if you try back now...
No, we're done. No more calls tonight.
Next week they will get a chance to call in.
Actually, I am thinking that we can do this live. No. We're done. Don't worry. Nobody actually called. I'm feeling bad. Take me off that shot.
Absolutely. Guys, we appreciate the comments. Some of you guys, our viewers, like to type. That's fine. Maybe next show you would call us and talk with us. We want to hear you. We want to hear your views. Yes, we want to build a relationship with our viewers.
Well, they won't have to call and talk, because on this program we're going to have everyone right here.
Yes.
We're going to have more persons here on a daily basis.
Of course.
Because we're now taking the show Monday to Friday. I'm joking. But we're considering putting out the proposal to Precious to have the show at least Wednesdays and Fridays. Maybe those 2
Guys,
days.
you see what Mr. Welch did? He just dropped that on me as we are live. So get my facial expression to you know, wow. But people, we would consider it being on every Wednesday and Friday, because of course we love the interaction with the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and we also like speaking we are passionate about speaking about the topics that affects each and every one of us in our country.
Now, for sure, we did not get to talk about it all or even conclude the conversation about crime and criminality, because what I wanted to go to was the Progressive Empowerment Parties. And if I speak about PEP so much, it is because this is a PEP platform. This is a PEP program. I am the Youth Chairman and the Shadow Member of Parliament for Laventille East Movement, and Precious is the Women's Chairman for the Progressive Empowerment Party. Now, what we did not get to was our second policy about establishing a virtual wall around Trinidad and Tobago, our national security policy. But on another day, we'll get to that national security policy on securing our borders here in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as taking guns off the street.
Of course.
This will be through our third policy of the First World Law Enforcement. All right.
Now, David, just to point out, while I was reading an article where there is a national crime prevention program in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. And while I was reading, they had a National Development Strategy Vision 2030. And it was stated there, now this was since 2016, they period it to 2016 to 2030. And their short term, or what I say, let's say medium term goal was to have efficient and effective law enforcement system. Right now, that started 2016 and we are now in 2023. Right? So I don't know how much of a efficient and effective law enforcement system we have, but we have a poor system where it comes to drugs and making legal weapons legal in Trinidad and Tobago, because there are a lot of illegal weapons that is on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago. And once you have that, there could never be an effective and efficient law enforcement system at all. Right? And also they have long-term, safe and secure place to live, visit and do business. A lot of business people have packed up and left.
You ain't lie there.
Right? A lot of business people. And a lot of people, exactly, a lot of people, citizens, pack up and leave. Because, of course, there is no safe and secure place to live in Trinidad and Tobago. Absolutely not. When you talk to citizens, if they only had the resources to pack up and leave, they would. They would. They don't feel any type of safety in Trinidad and Tobago. Some of them don't trust our law enforcement. They don't trust them because you know what they say? The same officers are involved in corruption.
That's true.
So if you don't feel safe with your own law enforcers, then what's next, David?
Nice question.
What's next?
What's next, Trinidad and Tobago? Well, I guess we'll find out that on our next episode of What's Next. Stay tuned to our social media pages. We'll have an official social media page for What's Next as well. On this program, we seek to touch on it all, on our society, on Trinidad and Tobago, on how we can better Trinidad and Tobago, on how we want to see Trinidad and Tobago. I want to see Trinidad and Tobago develop tremendously with proper employment, with proper security, with proper everything for the citizens of this republic. And when I say a proper constitution built in the favor of every single citizen in Trinidad and Tobago, because this is supposed to be the place where every creed and race finds an equal place, but it's not. And we say, under the Progressive Empowerment Party, one people under one flag, we can truly find an equal place here in Trinidad and Tobago. I am David Welch, UTAM Chairman, Progressive Empowerment Party, as well as the Shadow Member of Parliament for Laventille East Movement.
And I am Precious Cruikshank, Women's Chair of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and you have just viewed us on What's Next.
Thank you so much, Trinidad and Tobago, for tuning in. Precious Cruikshank, have
David Welch.
an awesome day. Thank you so much. All right. See you again, Trinidad and Tobago. Stay safe.
And